a modern day map of Asia, because this actually helps sort of set out the scene of what's in it for each country around Khalistan. So ultimately, let's start with India. If we look at India, why would India at least acquiesce and agree to the establishment of Khalistan? What is in it for India? Well, more importantly, what's not in it for India? The Sikh community have been a permanent thorn in the side for the Indian government ever since 1947. Ever since that original betrayal of 1947, the Sikh community have not laid down and accepted what's happened. They will not accept that betrayal of 1947. They certainly would not accept that betrayal of 1966, and they most definitely will never accept that betrayal of 1984, Operation Blue Star, the genocide that followed in November that year. Those terrible events, and certainly the murders, the extrajudicial killings of the 80s and 90s, etc. So as a result, the Sikhs have risen up militarily in the 80s and 90s, and when that was quashed into submission, ultimately they have ever since still been battling the Indian government, and they will never let this lie. So what's in it for India? I'll tell you now, it means finally they can get rid of this Sikh problem. Indira Gandhi hated the Sikhs. Indira Gandhi publicly actually came out and said, this is a problem. The Sikhs are a problem. And likewise, nothing's changed. If anything, the Sikhs are a massive problem for Narendra Modi, for the BJP, but more importantly for the Brahmins. And why do they hate the Sikhs? Because the Sikhs know what the Brahmins' game is. They know the caste system. They've called it out ever since the first guru broke away from the Hindus at the time, based primarily because they rejected the caste system, this same system that still governs India. That's why they hate the Sikhs. So ultimately, finally, India can get rid of the Sikh problem. You think of all the resources, the cash, the money, the military, the law enforcement resources, all these subterfuge, the underhand games that they've been up to, the drugs are pouring into Punjab, etc., etc. All these issues disappear overnight. You imagine, for the Indian government, finally, they can stop spending all that money, that effort, that pain in the proverbial, worrying about Sikhs. Likewise, J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, if Khalistan is established, that does include a large part of J&K. J&K, likewise, has been an enormous, expensive problem, thorn in the side for the Indian government. J&K, a lot of that problem disappears. Problem about Islamic fundamental extremists pouring across that border from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and then into J&K, likewise causing issues. The Pahalgam incident recently, for example. All these issues potentially could go away because you have a buffer zone that stops Islamic extremists pouring into J&K, into India, etc. So immediately, these Hindu nationalists who hate the Muslims, there's your answer. Khalistan immediately gets rid of another one of your big headaches, one of your big problems.